Alrighty. So this just popped up for me. What do we got? We got pick, carry, place, repeat. Inside the lab with Atlas from Boston Dynamics. So in case you didn't know, Boston Dynamics is just a robotics company that is working on trying to make like a humanoid, a robot. And if you go on their YouTube, you'll see like little shorts of robots doing like crazy acrobatic things. Super awesome. Very cool. But yeah. So let me just see what they got to say.
Okay, trying again.
All right. Zooming in three, two, one.
Okay.
The core reason people are so interested in humanoid robots today is the promise of a truly flexible robotic solution that can switch between tasks and applications in a way that we just haven't seen before in robotics.
That is pretty cool. I mean, having a humanoid robot getting ready to do like just all the same mundane menial tasks that real people don't want to do. This is gonna put out all this is gonna put everybody out of a job. Not everybody makes a joke of like, oh, Americans don't want to work or they don't want to do physical labor jobs, and then who's stuck with doing it? So it's like a bunch of like illegal immigrants or whatever. It's like robots are gonna put the illegal immigrants out of a job if these guys succeed. I mean, given enough time, they eventually will. Given enough time, like Boston Dynamics is gonna it's gonna be iRobot in this bitch, dude. Like, think about it.
The world was built for humans, and the huge promise of humanoids is that they will be able to enter into those human-built environments and immediately add value.
The previous generation of Atlas was able to do a lot of really athletic things, from running around, jumping, flipping, and so on.
Yeah.
So that made it a really interesting research platform for us to explore the limits of whole body control. But there are some downsides to hydraulics as well, right? They're very complex. They're quite
Very complex. Like, whenever they're doing that like little demo where he's like flipping around with like the tool bag and shit, I can't imagine how many tries it took them to get that one take correct. They essentially just Jackie Chan'd it and just ran it until there wasn't a mistake. I mean, you'll see like if you could easily just YouTube some like machine learning type shit, and the little AI will have like a little stick figure, and it has to like move through like a maze or something. But to get to that end point where the little AI stick figure can get through the maze, it takes like hundreds of thousands of failures to get that one thing to like get through a course.
expensive. They're difficult to maintain and they're messy. Right? Our old lab used to have a thin coat of oil on it at all times. And we got to the point in our humanoid development where we realized that using the battery technology that we developed on the previous generation of Atlas, and by building our own electronic actuators, that we could build a humanoid that was strictly faster, strictly stronger, and more compact and less messy. Just
Okay.
manipulating objects is something that people spend very little time consciously thinking about. We've had an entire lifetime of interaction with the world to train our control system. So
Yeah.
we know how to predict what's going to happen.
I mean, and you can see like early versions of this with humans, because like look at babies when they're first trying to learn how to like stand and walk and stuff like that. They're just as like confused, like trying to figure out how to use their body and shit. They look just like this. Yeah, but given enough time, these guys are going to be just as capable of moving through the world as we are.
And we know how to send commands to different parts of our body in order to achieve manipulation tasks.
Oh,
Robots, by and large, do not have that wealth of experience.
nope.
And part of the
Yet. That's the key word. Yet.
exciting work that is happening in AI and that we're doing ourselves as well is trying to use the rich data sources that we are generating now from all of our robots, whether they're deployed out in the real world whether they're in our labs or whether it's being generated in simulation.
Yeah, I imagine like these robots where it's like the little dog with the legs, whatever it was called, or like those like single arm type robots where it's like just take the box, put it on the conveyor belt. This stuff is like a little bit more easier to like program or for AI to get like a hold of. But trying to get an AI to gain control of like a human body with like arms, limbs, head, torso, center of gravity, don't like overextend your joint and just break yourself type of deal. That's a little more complicated, I would imagine.
In order to train models that have a similar ability to generalize and a similar ability to error correct when trying to do fundamentally new manipulation tasks. And I think that's one of the places where I would expect AI to significantly change how we perceive the capabilities of robots over the next couple of years.
I mean, shit, just stick some like 5090s in there or something. I don't know.
Sequencing is a logistics task in the automotive manufacturing world that was created in order to allow manufacturers to produce many different customizations and variations of vehicles.
Sequencing has commercial value, but also from a research perspective, from a building blocks perspective, has a lot of the complexities that we think are necessary to be able to develop general purpose manipulation robots.
The sequencing process is taking thousands and thousands of different variants of parts and putting them into the specific order in which cars are going to be produced, making sure that the cars can be produced more quickly and more accurately.
I mean, I don't know why. It's not like no one's really buying brand spanking new cars. Like, look at the economy. Look at the Ford F-150s. That's America's like #1 flagship truck. What are they doing? Seldom are people buying like vehicles that are like on year. All those like trucks and shit, they're just sitting there on the lot, collecting dust, rotting. They either go to like a demo. They go to like they either go to auction or they just become a demo model. So I don't know why we're trying to speed up the construction of cars. I mean, I would actually surrender that point if the actual prices of the cars and the quality, so like if the quality remained the same, I mean, that's fine, that's great, but the prices would have to come down for whatever model car. I mean, they just say car as like a general like blanket statement, but like just think about it, because like how long do you plan on owning a car? This is like some business type shit, okay? So like I bought my car in 2020 or 20, yeah. Or no, I bought my car in 2021 like January, but I bought it like as a last year model. So I bought like a 2020 in 2021. And I've had that car for a while now, like 5-ish years. And I don't really plan on buying another one for a long time until that one breaks down. It's got like 20,000 miles on it. Not even 20K miles yet. It's like, where the fuck would I go? I ain't got no money. Well, I'm gonna drive somewhere and spend money I don't got? Nope. Sorry. So like, you're gonna make massive amounts of new cars, but like, who's buying them? Like, have we just forgotten like that not a lot of people are having kids? Like the people that are like the rate of childbirths are just going down. Last time I checked. Who do you guys want to buy all these new cars that all these robots are gonna make? Like what's the logic here? Like, help me understand.
Than they were before.
For this task, we've given Atlas a basic description of the end state that we want. So we have this output dolly that needs to be filled with engine covers in a particular order. And we've also given it a description of where it can look to find those engine covers.
Okay.
Once it has this, it basically goes in order of the output dolly. So it picks, say, the first slot in the output, what kind of engine cover do I need,
Mhm.
and then consults where can I find that, and then it goes and tries to pick it up from there. And if it can find it, it proceeds. It has that kind of basic description, and then it has
Bro, he just does a turn his head around like a robot, like an owl. It just, I can't even turn my head like that. It's just like, whoop.
a description of the kind of whole architecture of the task that we've provided, and then it puts those two together to do the sequencing.
Atlas has cameras, mostly in the head, and with those cameras, it perceives the fixtures or containers that it has to interact with, not just the one in particular where it has to extract an object or insert an object, but all containers around it so that it can map its footsteps to avoid collisions, for example. And then at the same time, it also sees objects. It has an idea of the object that it's going to manipulate.
I would imagine it takes longer for this robot to learn how to move throughout the environment, simply because, like, if you just like saw, like, real quick, this thing can move like a human cannot. Well, it can move its joints, like, it has way more like rotation and shit than like a normal human. Let me see if I can find it. Where'd it go?
Where it has to
So like right here, a normal person would just like move their entire body around, but like look what this thing does.
extract an object or insert an object, but all containers around it.
He just does this move. He turns his head around and it's like, oh, okay, how do I get the rest of my body that way? It's like a normal person, they would just move their body first, and then they would move their body along with their head so that they don't have to turn their head. But I mean, I get it, because this thing only has cameras like what, on like the side, the front. I don't even know if it has cameras on the back or whatever. So it like has to rotate its head around. But now it has to go into like a separate thing.
So that it can
And then it starts to walk kind of like backwards, like diagonal.
map its footsteps to
Yeah, like you see, it starts to like walk backwards. Like people don't walk backwards at all. I mean, yes, we have the ability to walk backwards, but like in normal life, when's the last time you walk backwards?
avoid collisions, for example. And then at the same time, it also sees objects. It has an idea of the object that it's going to manipulate, and with that mental model, it sort of uses directly RGB cameras to estimate the pose of the object and then equally track it over time.
Sometimes it knows that it's successfully put in place. So it knows that it's failed if it starts pushing and senses that
It's like, whoa, that doesn't go there.
it's not being able to move the cover the way it wants to, and then it'll back up and try again. It'll get the cover
It just walks so aggressively.
in and then let go. And at that point, it thinks that it has successfully put it in place. It'll go ahead and give it a little extra push just to make sure it's fully seated.
The 360 rotations are funny. They're there
Yeah.
for a very particular reason, which is efficiency, right? So Atlas can turn around faster, can turn its head. It wants to look something behind its head, and it can just turn the head. Atlas is faster at moving back and forth because it has that 360 motion.
Atlas is faster at moving back and forth because it has 360. I mean, yeah, but like, are you sure? Like, it has the capacity to move in a non-human way, but it's not like efficient enough. It seems like it's almost there. Like, give it another couple 100,000 hours, and I guarantee you this thing will be moving way quicker than a human. I mean, as it is currently, I mean, it's like, eh?
Boston Dynamics has a very long history in robotics, and in particular legged robots. And in bipeds alone, we've been working on them for probably over 15 years. But we
Okay.
really designed it to be a very high performance machine. And so we're interested in, again, being able to explore the very frontier of what's physically possible in humanoids. And everything, all the infrastructure that we built around doing that, I think is a real accelerant that shows itself through the performance of Atlas already.
I'm biased. For me, it's the pinnacle of humanoids today.
I mean, at least he acknowledged that he's like biased, and he's like, this is the future, guys. I mean, and honestly, like I said, given enough time, these things, it'll be iRobot with Will Smith up in here. Okay, 100%. And once you see that, I mean, right now, like, what do you see in Walmart? Like, there's not a lot of cashiers. I mean, yeah, there's some, but like not a lot. Mostly it's like self checkout, whatever. And then what else do you see in Walmart? Well, you see the people collecting the groceries and stuff, like from the people that put in all the orders in on the app and whatnot. I would predict that these robots will take those jobs eventually. You don't have to worry about robots forming a union. You don't have to worry about robots taking time off. You don't have to pay these things overtime. You don't have to do anything like insurance wise. I mean, maybe like you have to like get like some like I don't know, get like a warranty on the thing. There's not like a warranty on a human. You don't have to. It's just like so different. The expectation of a robot versus a human. You don't have to worry about the hiring and firing process. That's going to be like obsolete. I mean, yeah.
It's capable of all of the agility that HD Atlas had, but probably even more than HD Atlas.
Yep. That's crazy. Oh, Spot. That's what his name was. The dog, the little robot dog. I mean, it's cool. It's very commendable what these guys are doing. 100%, man. It's just kind of scary once you think about it. Like once these things reach their like peak pinnacle, penultimate like version like 7,326, where it moves exactly like a human. There's like no hiccups and whatever. What's gonna happen? Well, all the jobs that people have right now, they're all gonna be taken over by this thing. And like from a business perspective, it'll be like a massive investment initially, but then given if these things have like a long lifespan, all you gotta do is like change the battery or whatever, and like have like little Boston Dynamics people come out and do like some, I don't know, yearly maintenance, bi-yearly maintenance on all the joints or whatever. Given enough time, these things are going to be way more productive than hiring a person. 100%. But now is not that time. We'll just see. We'll just see what happens. But overall, very cool, definitely. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.